Hello students, this is a course of guidance and counseling and we are in the week number 10 and taking the lecture number 3. And the topic of the discussion is guidance needs of the slow learners. In previous lecture number 2, we tried to understand the guidance needs of the gifted students, their characteristic features and guidance and counseling needs and how to address the guidance needs of the gifted student. In present lecture, we are taking a group of students who are termed as slow learners, and in this lecture in 30 minutes we will try to understand what are the guidance needs of the slow learners. Let us start our discussion with introduction. On the basis of intelligence, the students are categorized into three broader categories. Number one, a student possessing a higher intelligence or IQ which exceeds from 115 onwards, generally termed as superior students. On the other hand, we have average intelligence students possessing IQ range of 85 to 115 on the basis of intelligence test and converting to the IQ level, generally called the average students. Low intelligence students having IQ level 85 and below, generally designated as slow learners. So when we are talking about the slow learners, then we are talking about the students whose IQ level is comparatively lower than the IQ level of the average population. So if we analyze the three criteria, on the one positive stream, we are having the gifted population, and on the lower stream, we are having the slow learners population. We need to address the guidance and counseling needs of the gifted population also, because in order to provide them opportunity to innovate, and we also provide guidance and counseling facilities to the slow learners so that they are not feeling in the classroom and in educational institution as neglected or rejected. Rather, they are involved in the learning process and their needs are being addressed by the teachers and the counselors and the administrator of that institution, and they are achieving up to their potential in an environment which is psychologically safe and secure. This is the central idea about this philosophy. Now come to the uh, some of the definition, and I have mentioned two definitions here. Slow learners uh, are the students with below average cognitive abilities who are not disabled. Here one aspect need to be considered, okay, they are not the disabled population. Their cognitive ability is below average, but they are not the disabled population, but who struggle to cope with the traditional academic demands of regular classroom. In our traditional setup of education, or the present setup of education, all the students are collectively receiving education in the same classrooms. And what the teachers are doing, teachers are basically concerned with the average population, which constitute about 68% of the classroom. Above average, there are 16% students who are superior, and another 2 or 3% are basically the gifted. And below average, we have a category of the slow learners, and below slow learners, we have the capacity of mentally retarded. Here we are not talking about the mentally retarded student. That is another criteria to talk about in terms of their education and training and the guidance. Here we are considered with the slow learner who constitute about 14, 15 or 16% uh, population of our students. They are the normal person. The term slow learner should be referred to the children of relatively low intelligence having an IQ of approximately 75 to 90. So this is the classification given by the Kirk. Okay, on the basis of IQ, we can identify the slow learners of the classroom. There are certain characteristic features which are peculiar to the slow learners, and any teacher, if having the knowledge of these characteristic features, will be able to identify without going through any intelligence test uh, about the about the characteristic features of the slow learners. They do not differ from normal students in physical appearance, social and behavior characteristic features. They look physically similar, socially effective many times, and their behavior characteristics does not give any negative impression that they are the slow learners. Sometimes becomes very difficult to identify them because they demonstrate normal characteristic features in terms of their physical, social and behavioral aspects. They find it is extremely challenging to cope with the education imparted in the schools. Their difficulty is basically to cope up with the standard of the classroom. They are capable of being educated in general classroom. They cannot be considered a population who can be misfit in the inclusive classroom or the general classroom. Their IQ level is sufficient enough to progress in the normal classroom. Their performance is always found lower as compared to the children of the same chronological age. If we compare the age of any child who is a slow learner, take for example, is an age of 12 years old, then he will perform below the age of the average in the high IQ level students. Their because they learn at a slower pace and the pace of learning is slow, so their performance is always found lower as compared to children of same chronological age. They may not be able to receive higher education despite all the guidance and educational facilities made available to them. But here we need to understand one aspect. We have given a range of IQ to this population, and that range is from 75 to the 90. If any student having the IQ of 90, he will also be considered as a slow learner, but he is at the bottom line of the average student. He or she may enter in the higher education, but a person having the IQ of 75 is not expected to enter in the higher education level. So generally, they may not be able to receive higher education despite all guidance and educational facilities made available to them. They possess poor higher mental abilities like reasoning, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. In contrast to the gifted student, their higher mental abilities, to whom we consider the reasoning ability, creativity ability, analysis ability, synthesis ability, and evaluation abilities are poor. They have short attention and concentration span, which adversely affects their academic achievement. Their concentration is very short, their reaction time is slow, and lack enthusiasm and agility in their behavior. Their reaction time is slow. They react very slowly. That is why if you see they are engaged in any task, then they they looks lethargic in their temperament and slowly participate in the activities. They have limited ability to work with abstraction and to generalize the learned knowledge. Abstract ability or abstract thinking is comparatively lower among slow learners than the gifted and the average student. They can work on the abstract, they can work on the concrete aspect rather than on the abstract aspect. So concrete aspects are more easily done or taken by the slow learners rather than the abstract ones. They learn at a very slow pace and forget the learned material very quickly. They find it difficulty to learn the material. If they happen to learn it, then it becomes very difficult to recall and remember for longer period of the time. So this is one of the serious drawbacks associated to the slow learners and creates difficulty in their academic, social and other aspects. They do not demonstrate creativity in their conduct and behavior, means they lack fluency, flexibility and originality in presenting their ideas. They are less fluent, they are less flexible in giving different ideas, and the originality of ideas, the uniqueness of ideas is also compromised. They possess poor self-concept and lack confidence and suffer from inferiority complex. These are the peculiar characteristic features of the slow learners: poor self-concept, lack of confidence and inferiority complex, which are highly dangerous for the students, to lead them anxiety and frustration and, and stress. Lack of interest in school work is the common characteristic features of the backward students or the slow learners. They lack interest because in academic tasks, intelligence is given more significant. They do not have the ability to organize their academic activities and are more prone to anxiety, stress and fear of failures. If they are not able to perform better and their pace of learning is also slow, definitely it is bound to create some kind of anxiety, stress, as well as the fear that is related to the serious anxiety. They may lose confidence, and fear of anxiety is always associated with their personality. They do not demonstrate social skill to mix up with their classmates and capability to play a leading role in any academic and non-academic endeavors. Their leadership ability is also doubtful, and they are not displaying the social skills as demonstrated by average and other fellow. Now, in coming slides, we will try to understand what are the functions of the guidance with slow learners, how the guidance will provide opportunities to enhance the academic standard and allow them or provide them guidance to select certain areas where they can excel, or subjects like vocational subject or occupational subject, and to fulfill their course, and the chosen areas in the employment also. So academic aspect, career and guidance aspect and environment are also equally responsible in the context of the slow learners. Let us analyze all these aspects in respect to the guidance team of the institution. The backward students are the most neglected group in our education system. Teaching strategies adopted in our schools and the efforts of the teachers are mostly oriented towards educational needs of average students, who constitute about 68% students population. Three categories of students are present in the classroom, and out of these three categories, 68% constitute the normal population or average population, and 16% above average population and 16% below average population. This below average population is basically in danger, and they face difficulty, they feel neglected and they feel isolated with the standard of the classroom, because the standard of the classroom set by the teacher is based on the average student, who constitutes 68% population. And this is already known, this standard is already comfortable for the gifted population. So in this way, large majority it comes in that domain. Functions of guidance can be discussed in four major aspects. Number one, academic support, which we can provide to this population, emotional and social support, as well as parental guidance and involvement, and teacher collaboration and professional development. What we need to do, we have to provide academic support, or the guidance should provide academic support to this population, and this is related to personalized learning strategies. Counselors can help identify the learner's preferred learning style. Every individual chooses his or her own learning style. Some are learning through visuals, some are learning through auditory signals, and some are learning in kinesthetic, means doing. and recommend personalized strategies and resources to cater to their needs, because these slow learners are not attentive, or they cannot concentrate for longer period of the time, then auditory learning style will definitely not provide the better result. Visual aspects will be important for them, and engaging the student in learning by doing concept will provide more opportunity for them to learn. So personalized learning strategies need to be devised on the basis of information received about the slow learners. Study skills development. Study skills are also very important, because these study skills assist the individual to carry on the journey of academic tasks. Teaching effective study techniques like active recall, how to recall the content, spaced repetition, and mind mapping can significantly improve their learning and retention ability. They must be taught the strategies, how to concentrate, how to remember, how to recall, and how to correlate, how to learn these skills, listening skills and reading skills and writing skills and managing the time skills. So these are the study skills are very important in providing academic support. Setting realistic goals. What happens in the classroom? All the students are setting their goals irrespective of the knowledge they are having with their abilities and the capabilities. They are not aware about their IQ level, nor aware about their temperament, nor aware about their personality characteristics, but they are driven by the uh, bunch of the class, okay, and they are setting their goals which are associated to the society's status. There are certain areas where the status is given by the society, like engineering profession, like medical profession, and many more. So everybody is trying to achieve that target. Setting realistic goal is very important in the field of the academics. So we need to provide help to achieve academic goals, breaking down large tasks into smaller tasks. Manageable steps and celebrating small victories can foster motivation and confidence. Simple goals can be set up. If there is a larger goal to achieve, that can be broken down in small steps, and after completing every step, the feeling of accomplishment should be felt by the should be allowed to feel by the learner. It motivates the student and gives the confidence to move forward. This setting realistic goal is also very. Remedial instructions are always needed, because their pace of learning is comparatively slow and they need additional support. So providing targeted support and re-teaching foundational concepts can help bridge learning gaps and build a stronger academic base. Concept must be clear. If the concepts are not clear, then definitely the person will lag behind, and the further aspect of that subject will not be clear. So if the concepts are not clear and the student, slow learner, need support and guidance, then that support and guidance must be available in the school conditions, and that can be facilitated by the teachers. Developing self-advocacy skills, empowering them to communicate their learning needs to teachers and seek help when needed can be crucial for their academic success. They must be guided, or the confidence must be a good rapport by the teacher must be made with the slow learners, where they feel no hesitation in asking the teachers for the support. That is called the self advocacy skills. They are coming to the teachers for seeking their assistance, going to the counselor for assisting getting any assistance for academic support. Emotional and social support is also important. So first of all, we have to concentrate on the academic support, and in academic support we are talking about the personalized learning strategies and enhancing study skills, and then setting realistic goals, and remedial classes or remedial strategies can be applied, and we need to develop the self advocacy skills. So if such guidance facilities are provided, then students are expected to improve their academic performance in a better manner. This all tasks must be given in a supportive environment. That is, emotional and social support is also very important. A person feels satisfied when emotional and social support is provided to them. Building self-esteem and confidence, these are the two important aspects. Okay, my self-esteem, my confidence should not be lowered. Rather, I should feel better self-esteem and better self-concept confidence, so that this provides energy and develop the agility in the task of the in completing the behavior of the student or in engaging in the activity. So slow learners may experience feelings of inadequacy, frustration, or isolation because of low social contact or poor social concept, or having a ability to isolate themselves or feel rejected in the institution. Counselors can help them recognize their strength, celebrate their progress, and develop positive self-image. Positive self-image, developments of the positive self-image is highly important. We need to tell to the student, you have the capacity, and you, if efforts, you are making positive effort, then the chances of the success are waiting for you. This confidence is highly important. Addressing anxiety and stress, providing coping mechanism and relaxation techniques to manage academic pressure and peer comparisons can improve their overall well-being. There are many strategies to get rid of from the anxiety and the stress. They may be allowed to participate in co-curricular activities. They may be given a free time and to engage in the lesser activities. There are many coping strategies how to handle the difficult situation, how to present a calm and composed personality when you are facing trouble, or and you are facing difficulty in achieving the completion of any task. Fostering social skills is also very important, because by developing social skills, we are basically providing opportunities for the slow learners to interact with other students and other fellow peers and get the benefit of learning from that interaction. Helping them to develop positive social interactions, manage conflicts. If there is a conflict, then they must learn how to manage that conflicts, and build healthy relationship with peers can reduce feeling of isolation and improve their social integration. For this social development, they must be given opportunity to develop that social skills, and for that they must be supported emotionally and guided accordingly. Encouraging peer support, creating opportunities for collaborating learning and peer tutoring can facilitate social interaction, boost confidence, and provide additional academic support. Peer support is also very important, and gifted students and the average student can be instrumental in providing this support to the slow learners. They should provide a good environment in the institution, helping and supporting environment, and this environment will definitely boost their morale, and they will be able to perform the task in a better manner. Positive mindset is also very important. Counselor should help them to develop a growth mindset where they see challenges as opportunities for growth rather than limitations. So this positivity need to be developed, and this is possible if emotional support is provided for the slow learners. Now, the third aspect is parental guidance and involvement. Without the involvement of the parent, it will be very difficult to address the issues and the problems of the slow learners. So, educating parents about slow learning, helping parents understand the characteristics and challenges faced by the slow learners can foster a positive home environment. Parents are generally not aware about the characteristic features of their children. In absence of that knowledge, they are having the false expectations from their children, ignoring their mental abilities to fulfill that aspiration. So, slow learners, in regard to the slow learners, the parental involvement or parental guidance becomes very important. We need to enhance the collaboration and implement various strategies of the collaboration with the parents. Working with parents to implement consistent strategies at home and school can reinforce learning and support the child's development. So this support should come from their parents, and we need to provide the guidance and counseling to the parents and making them aware about certain strategies which they can apply at home and provide a better environment for that. Managing expectations. Guiding parents to set realistic expectations for their child's academic progress and focus on their individual growth rather than comparison with peers can prevent frustration and enhance the parent-child relationship. This is the most serious disadvantage or most serious problem which is associated large number of parents of our society. Parents basically compare their children with the children of other people. Every child has brought certain positives and the negatives and the temperament and the aptitude and the IQ level, and he or she must be given opportunity to develop in that area, and parents should understand this concept that their aspiration should not be fulfilled by the student, rather a student should fulfill their own aspiration. Parental consulting and support group. Addressing the emotional challenges parents face when raising a child with learning differences and connecting them with support networks can be beneficial. So parental counseling is also very important. And the fourth and the last part is the teacher collaboration and professional development, sharing insights and strategies. Counselors can collaborate with teachers to share information about the student's learning style, challenges and strength, information, instructional strategies. It will help the teacher to provide adequate facilities and opportunities for the slow learners. Professional development or teaching strategies. Teaching strategies are different for the slow learners. If the teachers are not having the knowledge related to them, they must be exposed to the professional development program on regular basis. And the last one is creating a positive classroom environment, encouraging teachers to foster a supportive and inclusive classroom culture where every student feels valued and respected regardless of their academic pace is essential. Let us conclude our lecture by addressing the multifaceted guidance and counseling needs of the slow learners. Educators, counselors, and parents can work together to create an environment where these individuals can reach their full potential and thrive both academically and personally. We need to understand the slow learners having their own difficulties of adjustment, difficulty of remembering, difficulties of recalling, then we cannot expect the same result from this population. We need to demonstrate patience as a teacher, we need to demonstrate patience as a counselor, and we need to guide to this group of students in regard to their involvement in the classroom, in regard to providing emotional and social support, and we need to take the cooperation of the parents because parents are also responsible in managing the personality of the student, and we have to provide every kind of support for them, and guidance and counseling becomes instrumental if the counselor is taking all kinds of the support and enhancing the learning uh, environment or opportunities of the learning for the slow learners. In this regard, they will feel respected, and they will engage in the learning process and will achieve up to their potential. So with this we have completed our lecture. Thanks for your patience listening, and God bless you all.